There have been a few important developments in regards to the Stop Killing Games initiative. As you can see right there, the running total for the signatures that have been captured, 1.3 million European citizens have signed up, and that's a fantastic thing, right? Because they needed to crack that 1 million threshold in order for the European Union to directly address said petition. And yeah, normally when you have these big campaigns, you want about like a 10 to 25% overage just to account for some of the discrepancies, some of the, falsified signatures. Not saying that there's any that are in there, but yeah, if you can't quite cross the T's or dot the I's on all the signatures, whatever ones end up failing that verification process, you still end up with the requisite amount. So this is a fantastic thing. As I said right now, at time of recording, there's no official date for when the European Council has to address this, but I would imagine, within the next couple of weeks, within the next month or so, we will have a concrete date. And yes, the fight for proper game preservation will be taken seriously. It's unfortunate that the government had to get involved because, there's a slippery slope argument to be had here, because yeah, you involve the government and then you start to, invite the wolf in the door about what exactly can be preserved, what games don't need to be preserved. And I understand all of that stuff that's out there. But when you're dealing with scummy corporations like the ones over, involved in Video Games Europe, it's basically, we talked about them a little bit before in regards to their statement that came out after Stop Killing Games crossed 1 million signatures. And yeah, it's basically all of the heavy hitters in the AAA gaming space, minus Valve, which, yeah, of course, man, is because if there's one big consumer first platform that's out there, and there's a reason why Steam is the dominant platform in all of gaming at this point in time, yeah, it's because of one singular individual. And the moment that, and I don't really want to put this out into the ether, okay, I don't want to will this into existence, but the moment that Gabe Newell steps down at Steam, and understand that, he's not getting any younger, he's not getting any healthier. It's kind of a George R.R. Martin type situation. I love what the guy's doing, and I'd love it even more if you could just go ahead and, take care of yourself, okay, maybe focus a little bit more. And especially, with Gabe there, it's like, Half-Life 3, Left 4 Dead 3, Team Fortress 3. Like, if Valve could learn to count to 3, I know, dragging up really old memes at this point in time, but still, if you could focus on that, that would be great. But overall, what you've done for not just PC gaming, but for gaming in general, it is laudable, and it is something that we do not see in any other analogous industry that's out there. He is single-handedly keeping the corrupt corporations at bay. And that's why initiatives like Stop Killing Games is very important, because Gabe can only do so much, okay? And there's only so much like emulation of the older generation, can go ahead and maintain this ever-changing landscape in gaming, because a lot of the new stuff that is, well, it's not even new at this point in time. Like, we're going, a decade plus that we have these always online requirements for these games. And yeah, all this hard work and effort, thanks to a company deciding that, yeah, we're not going to support this stuff anymore. They just turn off servers a la Anthem. Like, you're not going to be able to buy it. You're not even going to be able to play it anymore. So anybody who is spent a lot of time, it's not very many people that are out there, all things considered, but hey, that's always where they start. Yeah, nobody's playing Anthem anymore, so we're just going to go ahead and turn off the servers over here at BioWare and EA. Yeah, we're just going to do that. Nobody's playing it. There's not a sustainable enough player base. So yeah, all of that hard work, those years and years of development, those hundreds of millions of dollars, they just go up in smoke, and that game it becomes vaporware. You can't play it. You can't access anymore. It's just going to be gone. And as for the people that have paid and invested time and effort into that, yeah, don't worry about it anymore, because you won't be able to experience it. That's why this initiative is so important, okay? They're not saying, okay, they're not trying to press these companies into a lifetime of support. Okay, they're not, trying to hold the gun to EA, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Sega's head. No, none of that stuff. It's just, hey, if you don't want to support a live service game or an always online game anymore, that's totally fine, man. Okay, we're not requiring you to do that. It's just, if you have the ability to remove that component before you kill off the game's proper support, could you go ahead and flip that switch? Okay, that would be nice. Or if that's not possible, turn the server abilities over to the public, okay, so you can have players set up their own private servers so they can continue to play the game that they bought and purchased. Can we go ahead and do that? Or if you're just going to abandon something wholesale, can you stop striking motherfuckers down if they just want to, play the game or something like that? If you're not profiting off of it anymore, can we just, go ahead and make it work ourselves? No? Oh, okay, cool. What's your objection to that? Well, their objections, it's going to be interesting, right? Because we have the first salvo that's coming across. And I'm sure after the EU, has their first address on it, it's going to get even more spicy after this. But yes, just as a refresher, Video Games Europe, a trade association representing major game publishers like Riot, Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, has published a position paper opposing Stop Killing Games initiative. Yeah, they're not happy. The key claims, if private servers are allowed, they won't be able to moderate harmful content or enforce anti-cheat measures, which, hey, guess what? If you're going to stop supporting the game, and that's what this is all about, okay, the moment that you guys don't want to do this stuff anymore, just let the fans go ahead and set this stuff up. Why would you care? You were going to abandon the game to begin with. Allowing players to run private servers would present significant engineering and architectural challenges due to the fact that they may be done with proprietary technologies and systems. That's great. Modders fix a game the moment that it gets put on a platform within a few days at most. That normally is within a couple of hours. I remember when Final Fantasy VII Remake first came to PC and there was major stuttering issues. Square Enix released the product, modders had it finished, or they had it fixed and figured out within a couple of minutes because all they did was just switch from DirectX 12, which is garbage, to DirectX 11, and everything was running as smooth as butter. So yeah, that was a proprietary, that was a heavily modified, Unreal Engine 4 game. Well, we couldn't get this to work. Yeah, you just let a couple of guys that just have, a lot of spare time on their hands get into the source code. They can fix it just like that. Not exactly rocket science the way that you're trying to present this. But again, this is going to be presented to politicians who don't know their ass from page 8. So yeah, they just say, oh, it's really in-depth stuff. It's very technical stuff, okay? It's stuff only we know. And that's probably good enough to pass the smell test for a lot of these politicians. Reputational harm. Now, okay, allowing players to run private servers with online interaction possibilities could result in players using those games in ways that don't align with the games company's brand value. But again, this is all predicated on you guys were going to turf this game. Just allow the fans to continue it. That's all. That's it. Okay, just turn on those abilities if it's possible. Not asking for anything. It's just don't kill the game. Stop killing the games. Just let them exist. If you don't want to support it, that's fine. But just let other people make it exist. Okay, cool. Got it. Good. Fun. Fantastic. And while I think that, yeah, there's a way that all of these big corporations can go ahead and lobby the European Union to see it their way, well, you got your first big hurdle because European Parliament Vice President voices support for Stop Killing Games. A game once sold belongs to the customer. Oh shit, so this could end up having, even bigger overarching effects because, yeah, at the beginning of 2024 when Ubisoft, the digital content chief, came out and said, oh, gamers need to become more comfortable with not owning their games. Perhaps we could be opening up a much larger can of worms here. Are we finally going to describe digital purchases as actual purchases? Because that would be nice as well. After soaring past 1 million signatures, and becoming a source of pride for gamers worldwide, and the growing concern from AAA publishers, which is just, it's a beautiful thing to see. Stop Killing Games initiative continues to move mountains and mount movements, okay? Recently securing its perhaps most influential endorsement to date, coming from Vice President to the European Parliament, the very same entity set to consider SKG's central demand that game developers must not be allowed to delist the games customers have paid for, and whether it should be made a law. Vice President in question is Nicu Ştefănuță. There's a lot of interesting modifiers to a bunch of those letters there, so I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, but frankly, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm pleading ignorance on this one. One of the 14 VPs of the EU's current parliament who voiced his support for the initiative in an Instagram story over the weekend, noting that he himself was one of the petition signatories. Oh shit, really? That's awesome. I stand with the people who started this citizens initiative. I signed and will continue to help them. A game once sold belongs to the customer, not the company. Oh, damn, you love to see it. So while I'm going to go with Nicu, because I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and, confirm that that's the dude's name. Stance alone isn't the final word on whether SKG's demands will become law. This isn't the U.S. Senate, and there are 14 VPs in total. But if this is a guy who has some influence and can properly articulate a dissenting point from the big lobbies that are out there, I mean, it's more of a hope than what you had going in, because yeah, 1 million people signing this, that's all well and good, and they have the best of intentions at heart. when it comes to this petition. Like, yeah, stop delisting stuff. Okay, we bought and paid this stuff. It's not rocket science. Just let us play the games. Okay. With that said, I mean, like, there's most of the people that are on these types of panels, they can't even properly make their cell phones function on a daily basis. So, okay, so we're still dealing with boomers and technology here. Okay. It still marks a major win, yes, for Roscott's movement, as one of the VPs publicly backing may still influence others, making real change in the gaming industry more likely, at least within the EU, which will, of course, have ripple effects, which is why this stuff is so damn positive. Okay. That said, yeah, it's still a bit too early to celebrate victory. Just recently, a lobbying group representing big league video game publishers, yes, Video Games Europe, and yeah, they released their own statement. And honestly, it's argument from authority position. Okay. It's all of the biggest AAA publishers that are out there. It's all of the big studios coming out saying, no. This initiative is bad because they want us to spend more money on a game, when in actuality, nothing could be further from the truth. They are willingly and maliciously misrepresenting the position, but they aren't exactly the worst collective that's out there. Enter Pirate Software. This guy, I mean, like, it's been absolutely hilarious how much of a laughing stock rather, this little hack has become in the past few days. And even going back to the inception of Stop Killing Games, like his lack of reading comprehension in regards to this made him a lol cow to begin with, and then he has transformed in recent weeks to become a full-on lol whale, and his meltdowns they've been good, man. Okay. I'm not one for drama, but for somebody as malicious and arrogant as this hack is, you do love to see it. Just a little bit of schadenfreude here. The Pirate Software boldly declares, "I don't give a fuck, eat shit," while refusing to apologize for his Stop Killing Games remarks. Yeah, he continues not to just double, but quadruple down at this point. I don't even know at what level he's at right now. Like, he has gone way beyond. Okay, he's gone Super Saiyan when it comes to doubling down here. But it's alright, guys. He used to work at Blizzard. The gaming world is now ablaze as Twitch streamer and game developer, right, Jason Thor Hall, aka Pirate Software, has delivered an unfiltered response. His comments come after the calls for an apology over his Stop Killing Games movement criticism. The refusal to back from his stance, which has been captured in a viral clip, has ignited fierce debates all across over accountability, game preservation, and whether his opposition did inadvertently fuel the growth of the movement. Well, I mean, it was pretty much, for as far as I know, like SKG's petition kind of hit that 800,000 mark and then just lied there for months until Pirate Software talked about it again and saying, no, he's going to actively go against this stuff. He was going to make it his life's mission to make sure that never succeeded. And then 500,000 signatures later, he looks like a complete and total idiot. Facing the pressure to retracting his SKG initiative criticism, Pirate Software's response has been unequivocal. During a recent stream, as he reacted to the suggestion of making an apology video, he snapped out saying, "Put a video saying that you were wrong with every situation on the internet and move on. I'm not doing that. I don't give a fuck. Simply, yeah, bend the knee and lie about how you feel, and everyone will stop bullying. That's a great idea, dude. Yeah, no, eat shit." Oh, interesting. Quite a measured response. This was not a momentary outburst, but was a deliberate stance. Hall framed apology as a dishonest capitulation to online pressure. They even rejected the idea, or the entire idea, outright. The clip with his comments was later shared widely on platforms including Reddit, X, and other social media platforms. A lot of people have talked about this, mostly because, he ended up, spurging out saying, "I hope you get everything that you ask for and nothing that you want." He's absolutely fucking freaking out, and honestly, it's hilarious. And well, I guess everything is just spinning at this point in time, but long story short, he can go ahead and he can continue to be steadfast in his interpretation that no, Stop Killing Games is wrong. The 1.3 million signatories and the millions of people and the millions of gamers around the world, they're the ones that are wrong. I'm not wrong on this one. And well, he has been rewarded with 50,000 fewer Twitch followers. He has been rewarded with losing 100,000 subscribers on YouTube in as little as 2 weeks. Imagine continuing, just simply being this wrong. Like, it's hilarious, man. Everybody has a bad take, okay? Everybody gets something wrong now and again. I was sure, based on, sheer Marvel apathy, that Deadpool and Wolverine wouldn't make $1 billion. Oopsie daisy, a little wrong on that one. But honestly, having a little bit of humility goes a long way, especially if you're going to be on the fucking internet, okay? You can't have skin that thin and continue to maintain an existence, especially as fucked up as YouTube has been recently, like over the past month. Holy fuck. Man, this is a desolate wasteland, okay? For a multitude of reasons. You've probably seen the videos that are out there of people going, help, my channel is under attack, or whatever crap like that. And you know what? I can go ahead and back it up. Views are in the shitter. Interaction is through the floor. I think over the past month or so, I've gained like 26 subscribers. It's absolutely better than what Pirate Software is doing, Christ almighty. But yeah, YouTube is fucking up big time. Shout out to Rumble, just crossed, what, 2,000 subscribers or followers? I forget what the hell they call them over there. Whatever, okay? You know, shout out to all you folks watching over on Rumble. But when, you know, you have videos that get a few thousand views and you only make 36 cents on ad revenue, it's like, you know, not exactly all that inclined to shout out Rumble all that often, but I digress. YouTube has been absolutely bonkers when it comes to recommending independent creators, which is, it ties back nicely in with Stop Killing Games, lobbying the European Union. Not a fan of that body, not really a fan of government in general, and especially governments coming in and trying to regulate the the private sector. Not great bedfellows. But when something is going so massively wrong, a la Ubisoft, okay, them pulling up some buried text, okay, some absolutely wild stuff that I've seen as well. Ubisoft defends EULA, mandating players destroy physical game copies. Yeah, check this out, okay, by noting it's existed for over a decade. Oh, see, hidden in the fine print, after we're done supporting a game, even if you bought like a physical copy of it, you should and you need to destroy your, yes, your physical copy of it, because it's in the fine print. And when somebody discovered that, it's like, no, it's fine because it's always been there. It's like, I beg your pardon. This is the type of shit that people are sick of dealing with. Okay, in the ever-evolving landscape of digital gaming, a long-standing clause in the Ubisoft end-user license agreement has recently sparked widespread outrage among gamers and the industry observers. The provision, which requires users to destroy all physical copies of a game upon termination of its license, has been thrust into the spotlight amid growing concerns over the game preservation and consumer rights. While Ubisoft maintains that language is not new and dates back over a decade, critics argue that it exemplifies an anti-consumer approach that undermines the value of purchased games. Yeah, exactly. So this is the type of shit Stop Killing Games is fighting back against. These scummy policies that, oh no, yeah, see, it's just in the fine print. It's not like we'd ever enforce it or anything like that. It's like when Nintendo came out and they started breaking consoles, and the most recent thing, which I'll have to get into at a later date, they're used games that are going back and forth, and yeah, somebody just got their Switch bricked over it. No, that's fine. It's just in the fine. It's not like we'll ever do anything about it. It's just in the fine print. It's fine. Everybody else does it. I don't know why you're getting so bent out of shape about this one. It's in everybody's fine print. Defining what a purchase is, defining what a digital purchase is incredibly important, and it has been for a long time, and this finally coming to the forefront is a discussion that is very nuanced. It is something that is very important, and finding a solution is something that is very necessary, and it needs to very necessarily be done correctly, because overregulation will lead to a stifling of not just companies, but of end users, and a shirking of this responsibility will embolden these companies to become even more scummy. It'll be interesting to see how this ultimately does develop, because there is definitely a battle that is going to be had, but one that has already been decided is that Pirate Software is a bit of a fucking fool. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.